there's the old adage that doctors are not good at anything like business and stuff. My dad was a great doctor, bad business person. It's a stereotype. Is it true with lawyers as well that they just don't have a clue when it comes to business?
They kind of don't have a clue what they don't know. That's what I found is sometimes when people think that they're highly educated in one space or when they have a great deal of success in one space, they tend to not be deferential. I really do credit one of my first clients, Diamond & Diamond, who's now the largest personal injury firm in Canada, with being quite deferential to individual experts. The actual legal marketing space itself, it's uniquely positioned for innovation at this point because it's usually operated within a rather archaic framework.
Well, it's bus ads and late night TV ads.
Yes, with interesting creative and interesting taglines and jingles, which do work really well, by the way. A lot of people have a lot of choice words to say about jingles. But yeah, the personal injury space itself is really built on advertising. It's a highly competitive space. It's also a highly lucrative space. So that's obviously why there's a lot of players. But, there's kind of a saying where, everyone makes fun of personal injury lawyers and says bad things about them until they're injured and they need the best lawyer. And they certainly don't want the one in the Prius. They want the one in the Ferrari at this point.
That is very, very true. So what's wrong with the legal space now?
Well, they usually rely on established methods, right? They were effective in the past, but they no longer fully capture the evolving needs of clients at this point. And there's a huge rise of digital tools and changing client expectations. So there's an opportunity to bring fresh approaches to how legal services are marketed, whether that's bringing in AI. But one of the big things that lawyers have to overcome is that personal barrier, right? When I come to your website, what do your fonts evoke? What do your pictures evoke? Am I a woman and it's 12 guys standing in a row and that's all I see in your ads? And how do I connect with you? So I think that's something that lawyers really have to overcome, this barrier where people don't really want to approach them. They can be seen as pompous. They can be seen as many things, right? And so when it comes to lawyers, I think that the personal element, like any business, is incredibly important. And in this space, I found there's a lot of opportunity to break away from these old norms and sort of create new efficiencies and make legal services more accessible.
All right. So are we talking about moving away from television ad and toward SEO based online search for lawyers?
I don't think we're moving, everything's different, right? If you're in the infancy stage of a law firm, you can run a law firm on SEO and AdWords. I don't think SEO itself is dying in the way that it's said it's dying. I mean, one of the things why SEO is so important in, say, the personal injury space is, say, if you go into run AdWords in Miami and you type in personal injury lawyer Miami or car accident lawyer Miami, you're paying about $150 a click. So you can imagine that SEO firms can charge quite a large amount of money to law firms because, if I can get your cost per lead down substantially to, say, $40 a click in the SEO space. But the SEO space itself is going to be changing quite dramatically in 2025 and beyond. Something that's more human, more intuitive, and it's going to be more focused on voice search. But I don't think SEO, the way we traditionally call it SEO, it's really, we look at it as a conduit from bringing you from point A to point B, right? So it's not just Google, it's not just alternative search engines, it's just how do I find out about you? And that might be the search bar on YouTube, which is SEO. That might be the search bar on TikTok, which is still SEO. But it's changing in the sense that before you could just put up a blog with a bunch of content and people would just end up on your sites. But now with the new AI search features that are coming out, people are getting their answers right at the top before they even click through to your website. So there's a lot of traffic in the SEO space that is not going to return. And a lot of people have to be okay with that. But that being said, consumers aren't really going to go anywhere. So you just have to find a new way to connect with them.